in the Old Testament, in the law. But the Lord actually kept that feast. I think it's in Acts, if I'm not mistaken. It's in there, but I want to get in the New Testament. I think it's in Acts. You got what's it, Maccabees 8th chapter? Maccabees 4th chapter?
Yeah, Maccabees 4.
I
was reading at this point.
Like, I mean, he brought it out, but just for edification's sake, that's another question that you need to answer if you don't believe that this have any validity or that this was not inspired by the Most High. Where did they get the Feast of Dedication from?
John 10 and 22.
John 10 and 22. John 10 and 22. Somebody got that or yeah, go on to get that.
St. John chapter 10 verse 22 says, and it was at Jerusalem the feast of the dedication, and it was winter.
The feast of the dedication. Which one of y'all have the red? I have the red letter. Was that in red? Was it?
That's a kind of historical.
Count of that historical moment, right. You look up the word Feast of Dedication in the Greek, it's how you pronounce it? Ekania, which means dedication, consecration. In particular, the annual feast celebrated 8 days beginning in the 25th of Kislev, middle of our December, instituted by Judas Maccabees. Now, where do you find Maccabees at? In the Apocrypha, man. All right? In the memory of the cleansing of the temple from the pollution of Antiochus Epiphanes. This is in the New Testament. So you mean to tell me the Lord was keeping the Feast of Dedication, which you will find that nowhere in the law, but yet the Maccabean period, which is written of, is not valid? That's not valid? Yeah, First Maccabees 4. You got it?
This is First Maccabees 4 and 40. And fell down flat to the ground upon their faces and blew an alarm with the trumpets and cried toward heaven. Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary.
So they had to clean the sanctuary because you had this devil, he was destroying our temple. All right? He was setting up swine's flesh. They were sacrificing swine upon our altars in the temple. You had temple harlots, women having sex unto other gods in the temple. They were doing all type of abominations, man. That was a portion of the abomination of desolation back during the time of the Greek Empire. Okay? Had our people sacrificing unto Jupiter, you know, Zeus. He destroyed our people, man. And he was putting out those decrees for our people to dismiss the laws and start serving their customs and their decrees, man. Made our women stop circumcising their sons. Made them eat swine's flesh. They were doing all that, man. So it was considered a victory when you had the Maccabees come out and revolt against these devils. You know? So when we took them down, we had an 8-day celebration. And during that time was when we cleansed the tabernacle of the temple. Go ahead, I'll get more of that out of it.
This is First Maccabees 4 and 42. So he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as have pleasure in the law, who cleanse the sanctuary and beareth out the defiled stones unto an unclean place.
Yep.
And when as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profaned.
Now this is during the time of the Seleucid Empire. The Seleucid and the Ptolemies. During the time of the Greeks, man.
The generals of Antiochus.
Right. Antiochus ran, he comes from the Seleucid line. Okay? But you had Seleucid and you had Antiochus.
If I can say real quick, this is when the Edomites ruled Egypt at this time period. With the Ptolemies. And a lot of those hieroglyphs and stuff was cleaned up, and that's when the nose got chopped off for the Sphinx and all of that. To take it away, to make it look like they the Egyptians too.
Yeah. That's where you get the Alexandrian reign from. Alexandria, Egypt. That wasn't there until the Greeks took that over. You know?
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
This is 1 Maccabees 4 and 44.
Atali Yehudi. Atoma Caleb. Dana Esau. You damn devils.
This is 1 Maccabees 4 and 45. They thought, 4 and 45. They thought it best to pull it down, lest it should be a reproach to them, because the heathen had defiled it.
Yeah, he had to pull it down because the heathen defiled it, man. Sacrificing all type of manner of abomination upon the altars, man. We had to get rid of that. Go
because
ahead.
the heathen had defiled it.
Go ahead.
Wherefore they pulled it down,
Uh-huh.
and it laid up the stones in the mountain of the temple in the convenient place,
Yep.
until there should come a prophet to show what should be done with them.
Go ahead.
Then they took whole stones according to the law, and built a new altar according to the former.
Yeah, this is pretty much going into the history of what went down. All right, the Maccabees is the Maccabean book. It's a history book, man.
It's spiritual, but it's still a lot of history and time steps and timetable involved.
Yeah.
And that's why that feast isn't in any book previous, because they hadn't created it yet. But after they did it, that's when we started keeping it.
Yep. Go ahead.
This 1 Maccabees 4 and 47. 4 and 47. Then they took whole stones according to the law, and built a new altar according to the former,
Yep.
and made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple, and hallowed the courts. They made also new holy vessels.
So they had to reconstruct the temple. They had to replace the altars. You know. Yeah, they had to change it up and clean it out, man. You know. They had to redecorate it.
They made also new holy vessels, and into the temple they brought the candlestick and the altar of burnt offerings,
Yep.
and of incense and the table.
Uh-huh.
And upon the altar they burned incense and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted,
Yep.
that they might give light unto the temple.
They might give light to the temple. So, and that's our custom. You take the menorah and you put the 7 candles on it, and you light it to give light in the temple. Go ahead.
Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table, and spread out the veils, and finished all the works which they had begun to make.
Yep.
Now on the 5 and the 20th day of the 9th month, which is called the month which is called the month Caslu, in the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning, and offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings, which they had made.
So these were the proper offerings to the Heavenly Father. These were the real, the righteous offerings that the Lord set up, man. The bullocks, the rams, the he-goats, you know, so on and so forth. Go ahead.
Look at
This
what
is before Yahweh Shai's time, before he came on the scene. This is the Greek Empire. The Lord didn't come on the scene until the Romans, all right? So that shows you that this happened in period before the Lord. So when you read in John the 10th chapter, they was keeping his feast after moments after the Maccabean period. Okay. Go ahead, huh?
Look at what time and what day the heathen have profaned it. Even in that wasn't dedicated with songs and citherns and harps and cymbals.
Yep.
Then all the
Because around this time, this was like during the time of the Hasmonean dynasty, before the Herodian dynasty. Okay, that was when the ushering in of the Roman Empire started to come in. When it transferred from the Greeks into the Romans. All right. Go ahead.
Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising Yahweh of heaven, who had given them good success.
Why that look like James White right there and shit? Him with the glasses. That look like him right there and shit.
Common Edomite, bald-headed white man.
James! That look just like his ass, man.
James White scrawnier.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so this is 1 Maccabees 4 and 56. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. That's 56. Keep going.
Now jump to the part where it talks about the 56. Jump to 56.
That was 56.
That was it? Come on, read that again.
This is 1 Maccabees 4 and 56. So they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise.
So this is that feast of dedication. Okay? So if the Apocrypha is not valid, then where else did they get this from? Huh? Where else did they get this from? Why does it line up? Why does that history match up with what's written in the Apocrypha? If that's not inspired.
And why is Hanukkah still, because that's what that is.
Hanukkah is another name of
Jewish
Jewish.
or Jew 8-day feast but Hanukkah. So why is Hanukkah still respected and kept?
Exactly.
Where did it come from?
That's right. So hey, over and over again, you being found to be the devil, man. You know?
By the way,
And we ain't leaving no angles for you devils, man.
by the way, you are not the authority of belief.
That's right.
Because you don't understand, that don't mean you're the authority of belief when it comes to this word. Especially that we fully proven it's not for you. Simply because you don't have understanding, and probably because you're an Edomite. It's not for you. So what if some did not believe in the true doctrine of the Heavenly Father? Does that make the effect of God without effect?
You can learn
Now,
from
how would
somebody.
forbid?
Because
Romans 3 and 3.
I'm wrong by myself. Y'all gotta learn it by yourself. Man,
50 and 16.
you always gotta roll by yourself. That's just the way it is.
Psalms 50, verse 16. But unto the wicked saith the Most High, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes?
Yeah. James White, what have you done to declare the statutes of the Lord?
Because you grow hair somewhere. Why don't you have some hair? Just rock the U-shaped ball. How come you're not rocking that? How come you're not wearing your beard? Do you believe that the law is done away with?
Read that again.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're not prophets, so it doesn't matter.
This is really aimed to all heathens that think that they have a portion in this truth.
That's right.
Okay?
They don't have the spirit of an Israelite.
All you Christians, Catholics, whatever, but you call yourself taking this word of God in your mouth.
Right.
You think you believe, so to speak. This is what the Lord has to say to you, man.
It says, but unto the wicked saith the Most High.
But unto the wicked, who's the wicked? You so-called white people, the Edomites.
That's right.
All right, you're the border of wickedness.
Right.
Everywhere you go is nothing but evil. You're the reason why our people are jacked up in the mental state that they're in. You set them up in these communities for them to destroy themselves. Okay? You got them all bugged out their minds on narcotics, different drugs. You pumping them with all these different philosophies. You got them in a school. You got them in these religions. You did that to our people, man.
Right.
So you're the wicked. Go ahead,
It says, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
Now, how you gonna take the Lord's agreement in your mouth, like it pertains unto you? And tell us what parts of the Bible is right and what's not right.
How are you the authority?
You ain't the authority of nothing, man.
You're the authority of understanding. So, and then what's funny is all you misrepresenting Israelites from that first show that they did, y'all all fell to that. Every time he said what he believed, a couple of y'all tried to refute that, but when he said what he believed, it got stamped as his truth. I didn't know nobody bring up Romans, the 9th chapter. Why didn't nobody bring up Romans, the 3rd chapter? Simple, great millstone scripture that you should be going over and over all day. It says, verse 17, seeing that thou hatest instruction and cast my words behind thee.
That's what they do. They're trying to take the book in their hand, but don't even follow what the book say. All right, this is the same book you sworn in in the court.
They're too busy trying to debunk the Bible to try to push it. Right. Even when they claim to be pushing the Bible, they're trying to debunk the Bible and take out the parts that they don't like.
Right.
We deal with the bitter and the sweet of the scriptures.
Right.
Hey, the fact that we're doing this and we might not make it, that's a bitter pill to swallow. That our families ain't guaranteed to make it. That's a bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah. Prisoners of hope.
Yeah.
Because this is all of faith, man.
Yeah.
This is all of faith right here, man. And not everybody got that gift, because the Most High is the one who gives it.
I was going to say, the prophecy and faith is the power of this book.
That's right.
And it's not given to everyone. Right. It's given unto his servants, the prophets. Right. The men of the Lord that he chose.
Yeah, man.
That was it on that scripture.
It's going to happen away.
Somebody gets second measures. Somebody gets second measures 3:36 of them.
Psalm 50 and 16. But unto the wicked saith the Most High, or wicked God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldst take my covenant in thy mouth?
Yeah, like what have you done? Because your works shows you that you don't follow nothing but wickedness. All your customs and all the things that you do is all vain. It's all vain, man.
It says, seeing that thou hatest instruction and cast my words behind you. The way you hate instruction because you're a bastard. The Heavenly Father's not dealing with you. That's why I said a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. That's your land. That's talking about the people of that land before the place itself. You Idumeans.
This is 2nd Edges 3:33. And yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor hath no fruit. For I have gone here and there through
this
the
is
heathen.
talking about the works of the heathen. Their works have no fruit. So who are you to take the covenant of the Lord in your mouth? What have you done to declare the statutes? Talking about the heathen nations, the ones that call themselves Christians. All right. Your labors are pretty much useless. It's all in vain.
Hey,
So
hey,
This is 2nd Edges 3.
Do you think the Bible was written over 1,000 years?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
How you know?
Through faith. Go ahead, Al.
This is 2nd Edges 3:33. And yet their reward appeared not, and their labor hath no fruit.
Talking about the works of the heathen. Go ahead.
For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth.
Yeah, they got riches.
Right.
You know, they're above us right now. Go ahead.
And think not upon thy commandments.
They don't think upon this word.
Right.
It says, the Most High is not at all in the thoughts of the wicked, man. All right? Go ahead.
Weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance.
Yeah, compare our wickedness with the wickedness of the heathen. That's what Ezra is saying. Go ahead.
And there is also that dwell in the world.
Yeah, these heathen nations. Go ahead.
And so shall thy name nowhere be found in but Israel.
Your name is going to be found only but in Israel. Okay? Because if the Most High put his name on everybody else, then these people they would be representing a representation of the Most High. So whatever they're doing on the planet, if the Most High pretty much claim them, then that would mean that the manner of people that they are is the manner of the God that they worship. Okay? That would mean that their God condones this shit, man.
Right.
If the Most High was dealing with if the Lord claimed the heathens as his. That would mean that, you know, with these nations, name some of the things that these heathens do.
Oh, let me ask
Idols.
you, what the hell is all of these if everybody believes in the same God?
Right.
If everybody can be saved by the one true God, why
What the hell is all
Yeah,
this?
what's all this shit?
Exactly. Exactly.
The hell is all this? Because the heathens don't believe in it, because they're not meant to. But in the kingdom of heaven, they're going to be forced to believe. And they're going to want to, because they're going to see the power that the one true living power, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, you know, through his